Day 5 of the World Cup is complete, and unlike the other days, there hasn't been an upset. There have been some ballfests, and there has been some great games. So let's get into it. The first game of the day. This was interesting. This game between Switzerland and Cameroon. There wasn't much quality on show, to be honest. It is again another game of two teams that really didn't want to lose their first game, and it was Switzerland. They probably came out to deserve wins. They created the better chances of the game. Came out with 1.44 XG compared to Cameroon's 0.74. But yeah, there wasn't really much quality in show from either team. Neither team really went for it at all. Cameroon, they got to the final third, and then between Toko Cam, Choupo-Moting and Bowman never really linked up well. And Gita, you'd like him to get further up the pitch. He's not as good as deep, but up the pitch he's really good, and he just was never really able to get into them positions to link up the strikers. It's probably quite frustrating for him. Switzerland, again, he'll get to the final third and it'll fall to Vargas or Shaqiri or Bruno. It just never really worked. There's two quality moments in the match, really, from Switzerland that got them the good chances, but only one of them scored. But Shaqiri's cut back to Bruno at the start of the second half. I mean, Cameroon ended the first half probably the better side. And then to come out and concede straight away must have been a massive blow. Yeah, but a good ball by Shaqiri, good finish by Mbolo. Got them winning. It's a massive 3 points because they're not in an easy group, along with Brazil and Serbia. It's not an easy group, so that's a massive win for Switzerland. They were looking at each other, probably Brazil and Serbia probably the better teams compared to these two. Maybe Serbia and Switzerland a bit level, but they're both looking at this game like they need to win this game or not lose it. Like they're play, but Switzerland's come out with a win, massive result for them. Yeah, there's not very much to say about this game, really. Yeah, Uruguay, South Korea was the next game, and Uruguay don't have technicians in their squad. Like, you know how like Spain have like technicians, the passing, the movement in between midfield and the attack and defence. Uruguay don't have that, but what they do, they have athletes in midfield and they have guys that work hard and can play in high pressing systems. So it was weird to see them come out in a system where it was just a bit defensive, especially against South Korea. It was just very defensive, a bit on the back foot, like with players like Fede Valverde, Bentancur, Darwin Núñez. Get up the pitch, press them high, put long balls in, and it just never really, it wasn't really obvious what they were trying to do. I mean, in the game they had 56% possession, but not much of it, was in the final third. 0.59 expected goals compared to South Korea's 0.64. There was only really two big chances in the game. Jordan's header. I think it was Sang How. I think he missed a big chance. I can't remember who missed it, but there was a big chance on a cutback. I can't remember who missed it, but it was a big chance for South Korea to take the lead. It was Ujo Bukwang. He missed a big chance, but yeah, there's a massive chance. South Korea's defense looked good. I mean, Uruguay's attack was Núñez, Suarez, Pellistri was not very good. I don't know why they keep playing him. Cavani off the bench was a bit of a weird possession. He wasn't really up front. He was kind of in behind. Maybe Manuel Ugarte probably would be a better choice instead of like Vecino, a bit more attacking. But yeah, Uruguay didn't look that impressive, and this is one of the games they kind of had to win because the other teams in the group are all right. Núñez out on the left hand side. There's no creators in the squad. This is the big problem. There's no technicians in midfield, so they can't, against the bigger teams. They won't be able to pass it in and out of midfield probably that well. Valverde and Bentancur probably can do it, but they probably need that other technician. They don't have that. And creators, Pellistri, I don't know why they started him. He couldn't get into the team for that finished bottom of the league last season. Deportivo Alves. He hasn't played a game for Man United. I don't know why he started the World Cup at 20 years old with that kind of experience. Maybe just because he's that only right winger. But Aracasteta on the bench probably might be a better choice, even like Facundo Torres. They probably are better choices. But that's what they chose. Maybe even going to a diamond in midfield. Having like Bentancur, at the base, or even maybe pushing Valverde on the wing and putting Ugarte in midfield, because Valverde plays that position for Real Madrid and has become one of the best players in the world because of it. But yeah, but Suarez had a bad effect on the game. Really didn't get involved. 18 touches, 7 out of 14 passes. Didn't get involved in the ground duel at all. He didn't even have a shot. Just a bad game by Suarez, and Nunes is not the. You think, okay, maybe Suarez can be the link-up guy for Nunes to get in behind, but wasn't. And Nunes on the left wing, what you expected him to do. He's not a good dribbler. He can't create much. He needs players to bounce off and create chances really for him. And that wasn't that type of game. South Korea's defence did quite well. They shut them out. They didn't low block, but they kind of mid-blocked them, and mid to low block it was kind of with Kim Min-jae in defence, the Napoli defender. He was really good, really good. He's an exceptional player, but they defended really well. Again, another team that just defended as a team, worked as a team, worked really hard, and got a good result out of it. It's a massive result. If South Korea can get a result against Ghana, or even draw against Portugal, maybe that could see them through, depending on Uruguay's results. So it's a big result for South Korea to draw against Uruguay. Bad for Uruguay because people were tipping them as dark horses, but see if Ronald Araujo comes back, see if where he fits in, because maybe a right back, Caceres a bit off. Godin might be exposed by quicker players or more better players than what South Korea had, but South Korea looked decent, played as a team, worked hard, and got a great result out of it. Yeah, the other game, Portugal versus Ghana. Portugal looked alright. Ghana don't have much quality in their side. Apart from Mohamed Kudus, Inaki Williams, Andre Ayew, and Thomas Partey. Maybe Marty and Salisu, but they're just bottom end Premier League defenders. Salisu has the potential, but he's very hit or miss. But yeah, Ghana were able to shut Portugal out a lot, but they didn't really go forward that much, Ghana. But when they did go forward, they threatened, and Portugal. It's like what Portugal always looked like. They got all the talent, but they just never work well together. Ronaldo up front didn't play a good game. Cancelo and Guerrero as the fullbacks didn't play well. Otavio and Bernardo Silva midfield, and João Felix and Bruno Fernandes played all right, and then got the 2 assists, which made it into a good game. Don't know how he didn't get man of the match, but you think it gets a better side. Portugal probably would have lost this game. It really struggled. Danilo Pereira, I don't know why they're playing him at centre back. I'd rather see them play Antonio Silva at centre back. I know he's 18 years old, but he's a centre back in the back two. I know Danilo Pereira plays in the back three for PSG, but I don't know, maybe even bring Pepe in, but worry about his pace. Yeah, but Ghana, the penalty for Ronaldo was not a penalty. He died for that. He bought that penalty. I don't know why the ref gave it to him after disallowing the goal earlier in the match, but that was a bit questionable itself. So giving away that penalty was a bit strange. I seriously don't understand why he gave that. From every angle, it was just not a penalty. They just ran side by side, and there was contact by both players, and one decides to go down and one gets the penalty. It's really weird. And Ayew equalises, bad defending by Portugal, good play by Mohamed Kudus. He looked threatening. And then, for some reason, Oso Ado, the Ghanaian manager, decided to take out Mohamed Kudus and Andre Ayew. And you go, okay, that could be good, because they're both on yellow cards, give them both a bit of a rest, get some fresh legs, but also go, they've been your two best players. They got you the goal. Mohamed Kudus was always threatening, always picking up in between lines, was able to dribble out some scenarios, pass out some scenarios that got them up the pitch. Andre Ayew was always threatening, maybe taking Ayew off wasn't as bad as taking Kudus off, but taking Kudus off was absolutely stupid. And then for the rest of the game, they just weren't able to find that same rhythm. But also, straight away, they conceded to João Felix. It was such a strange substitution. And then 2 minutes later, Rafael Leao scores two assists by Bruno Fernandes. Very, very strange substitution. It's an all-time bad substitution. Eye for eye makes sense, but taking Kudos off does not make sense. They got back into the game in parentheses later on. Osman Bakari scores and then Sood with his team down 3-2. Then he had 9 minutes, but weren't able to create anything in them 9 minutes. Portugal saw out the game, but Ghana looked decent. They looked threatening. They showed that there's potential there to do something. But yeah, they probably would have hoped the better stuff on the bench. Jordan Ayew, I'm pretty sure he gave the ball away for both goals. I just never understood why people like Jordan Ayew, even why Crystal Palace still have him. But yeah, Portugal, 2 expected goals to Ghana's 0.93. If you take away penalties, it's probably about 1.3 to 0.9. So again, they didn't create much. They had 5 big chances, but it's Ronaldo taking them. Ronaldo, he got man of the match. I don't know why. He fluffed up that chance earlier. He fluffed up with the header. He just wasn't very good. But they gave him man of the match. Ghana will probably not be able to get out of the group. Probably. If you think maybe South Korea will be a close game, they'll probably definitely be a close game. But you can also see that they could do the exact same thing to the Uruguay squad that what South Korea did, because they did work well together. Just individual mistakes later on, bad substitutions later on, and it cost them the game. Portugal, they'll be able to get out of the group at 3 points. Most teams with 3 points get out of the group. But yeah, against South Korea and Uruguay, they'll probably need to get a point in one of them 2 games that will see them through. But against the big teams, they're just going to have to work better together. They've got so much talent. They've got probably the most talent in the tournament. If you look at their back line, Rafael Guerreiro is an amazing attacking fullback. His backup, Nuno Mendes, an amazing attacking fullback. João Cancelo, world class fullback. His backup's Diogo Dalot has been one of the best fullbacks in the league this season. Ruben Dias and centre backs maybe probably better partner, but Antonio Silva's one of the best up and coming defenders in the league in Europe. Diego Costa's highly rated. Bernardo Silva, Ruben Neves, Otavio with William Carvalho, João Pedro, Vitinha, Mateus Nunes on the bench. Bruno Fernandes, João Felix with Rafael Leao coming off the bench. Andre Silva there as well. Carlos Ramos. There's so much talent there, but they just never seem to work together. It's really, really strange. But yeah, they'll probably be able to get out of the group, but it doesn't look like a team that'll be able to, get far in the tournament. Maybe I'll eat my words, maybe their individuality will prevail, but it doesn't look like it. Final game of the day, Brazil-Serbia. It starts off a bit of a stinker game, didn't it? Brazil looked like it just didn't work early on. Really. They got better towards the end of the first half. They created 0.27 in the first half compared to Serbia's 0.05, so you could tell in the first half. Again, Serbia didn't want to lose the first half. Brazil didn't want to go too attacking the first half and get hit on the counter or anything. But second half, Brazil were really good. They showed their quality in the second half. They were really, really, really good in the second half. Getting the ball out to Vinicius Junior more. Rafinha down the right, at the start of the second half, Rafinha missed a great opportunity to make it square to Neymar. But Rafinha, with Vinicius Junior on the left side, massive, massive threat. He put that ball in for Neymar that he probably should have done better with. He had the shot which rebounded to Richarlison to get the opening goal. Then he had the assist for Richarlison, which was an amazing finish by Richarlison. Flicks up, goes over his head, swivels, smashes it. But yeah, expecting more of Neymar. He wasn't very good. As soon as he went off the pitch, it was weird that they started playing a bit better with him. off pitch. They were really flying, but maybe that's because just Serbia kind of gave up at the end. It really struggled. Maybe I think it was the change bringing on Vlahovic, putting that extra striker up there. They lost so much space in midfield. Like in midfield, they were getting absolutely run over at that point. Casemiro completely controlled the game in midfield after that point. So I think that was when they started tapping around a bit more, had a bit more freedom. But yeah, I expected a lot more of Serbia. Maybe not having Kostic on that left-hand side maybe cost them a bit, because he has a world-class delivery and really good. But yeah, I expect a bit more of like Milinkovic, Savic, Mitrovic. He's a bit injured, but there was never really able to get up the pitch at all. And like sustain pressure and get crossing. Like with Mitrovic and Vlahovic, you won't get crossing. You've got players like Dusan Tadic, you can put a crossing. You've also got Milinkovic, Savic can get in the box. He's a good goal scorer, but they were never able to do that at all. So obviously with Marquinhos at the back, they were able to deal with it quite well. They have the technical abilities of a centre-back, but also can right foot with someone like Mitrovic. They show they can deal with that well. Hopefully Neymar's injury is not too serious. Even if he doesn't have to miss a couple games, I'm sure they'll survive. They've got so much talent in that squad. I'm sure they'll survive a couple. If he has to miss a game, I'm sure they'll easily be able to get through. Serbia, on the other hand, facing Switzerland, facing Cameroon. From what they showed today, it'll be a struggle against them, but what they have shown in previous times, that they can actually play better. Maybe it's just Brazil were just too good for them. But Switzerland and Cameroon were tough tests. Games they have to win now. It's all on them to win now. Their game between Cameroon will be big because Switzerland have already got the 3 points, so their game against Cameroon will be absolutely massive, and that's the one next. That will be a massive match in terms of who goes through, because if they draw, Switzerland will be very confident, and they'll go into the final game confident, because Cameroon probably won't be able to get 3 points. But if Cameroon get the 3 points, they'll be going into the Switzerland game having to fight for it, and they showed they haven't really got that much quality, especially at the back. Centre backs is always kind of last ditch, especially in midfield. There's always last ditch tackles, and you don't really want that. But that's kind of what Serbia are. They're not technical ability teams like Brazil or Portugal or stuff like that. They've got hard people that will go in for a tackle, but will stop things when it happens, but not prevent things from happening. But yeah, a good day of action. Really exciting times. That's all the game day 1 of groups done. Tomorrow we have at 10 AM my time, Wales Iran. Big game in the group. Wales drawing with USA in the first game, and Iran being beaten by England. I think Iran did show quite a bit in that England game that they can get forward and trouble defences, like with Taremi. He can show, but Wales also showed that against USA, a good side, that they can, for the second half, they mostly played in USA's half, and they got Gareth Bale to have that bit of quality as well. But I think it'll be a close game. I think it will be a draw. Iran will probably shore things up with Carlos Queiroz, but I think it'll be a close game, but it'll be a draw or probably Wales win. And then Qatar, Senegal, I think Senegal are just going to beat them. I mean, Qatar, they were bad. They were bad in the first game, but they didn't allow Ecuador too much, apart from the penalty. I think it was about 0.35 XG from open play. So maybe that could be something they hang their hat on for the rest of the tournament. But probably a Senegal win. Netherlands, Ecuador, I think it'll be a close game. Ecuador, I mean, you saw what Senegal did to Netherlands. Their high energy style really troubled Netherlands. They really struggled. Probably should have won that game. Senegal, or at least not lost 2-0 or drawn the game. So Ecuador could maybe do the same. Hopefully, Valencia's fit. I think it'll probably be a draw. And USA England, I think England will win. USA kind of showed that they could have one style of play, and in the first half they did that one style of play of pushing Wales up the pitch. But when Wales kind of just started hitting the back, they kind of went into a shell and weren't able to do anything about it. So I think England will probably be able to easily beat them. because Wales were able to absolutely dominate them in the second half and they weren't able to do anything back. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the games from today. Any thoughts on the games tomorrow? Like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully after an England win.